Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's me, Legal Vices, and it is 5:30 a.m. here in South Korea. The sun will be coming up soon. How are we all doing where we are? All right, as we all know, this is a big day here, so there, no funny intros, no goats, nothing like that. This is it's a very interesting time. As those of you that were watching my stream earlier today, saw right at the end of the stream, there was an announcement that they had caught a suspect and they'd arrested a suspect. But you have to check with these things first. The story checked out, and here we are. We're 30 minutes away from a press conference by the Moscow Police Department. So we'll have to see what that's all about. Um, I mean, obviously, I would expect them to announce the arrest, maybe give a little bit of a background. I would be surprised if they mention anything about motive at this point. But we've got a few details that we know so far. I don't know how many of you have been looking at the news, but there's been a few stories about the guy that was caught. And hey, the 300 of you that are here right now, welcome. I'm happy to have you here. So nice to see you. And then you've got 120 likes. You guys like this, do whatever you want. Like I said, this isn't the normal happy-go-lucky, just kind of mess around and shill for grifts and like stream. Y'all are on your own. Do what you need to do with the likes and the subscribe buttons and whatnot, and whatever super chats you want to do, go right ahead. But I won't be shilling for them today because I'm kind of focused on the story here. But still, everything is gratefully accepted. Where to start with this? Well, I guess we can start with one of the main articles that was one of the first articles that was put out about this a few hours ago. This is from News Source. We got to scroll up. Sorry, I was reading it and doing searches and things. Let's go up here. It is from heavy.com. Bryan Kohberger is his name. Bryan Kohberger, Idaho murder suspect. 5 facts you need to know. This is the dude here. Bryan Kohberger is the suspect and criminology graduate student who is accused of the stabbing deaths of 4 University of Idaho students who were killed in Moscow, Idaho on November 13th, 2022. Kohberger, 28, was arrested on December 30th in Monroe County, Pennsylvania. Court records show his name was first confirmed by WPVI, a Philadelphia news source. The man's full name is Bryan Christopher Kohberger, according to Monroe County records in Pennsylvania. According to WPVI, authorities, including the FBI, Pennsylvania State Police, and the Moscow Police Department, had tracked Kohberger and located him in Chestnut Hill Township, Monroe County, in Pennsylvania's Pocono Mountain region. A warrant accused Kohberger of first-degree murder, the television station reported. News Nation reporter Brian Eaton posted the suspect's mugshot on Twitter. There's his mugshot. They've got him in the protective vest there. According to paperwork, okay, that's the reporter there. Kohberger is facing extradition to Idaho on murder charges. The WPVI news station reports Kohberger, an Albrightsville, Pennsylvania native, is a graduate student at Washington State University in Pullman, Washington. The university's website says Pullman is located less than 10 miles from Moscow, Idaho. They're both right on the border of Utah and Idaho. There's a lot of interaction between the two schools. Moscow, Idaho is just right on the border, and then, as I said, you're less than 10 miles away is Pullman. So you have University of Washington and Washington State University all within a few miles of each other. So you would expect there to be a lot of interaction, when they have the dances and whatever else goes on at universities these days. Wait a minute, I saw a super chat here a bit ago. I definitely don't want to get behind on any of these. Drama in the front, party in the back. Hopefully they got the right person. Well, we'll have to see. And again, that's an important thing to start out with here. This guy is presumed to be as innocent as you or I at this point. Innocent until proven guilty. But of course, we as human beings have to make judgment calls. We have to decide if we believe the guy or not. Right now, there's literally nothing known about this guy other than what is in these news articles. We haven't seen any evidence. There's some evidence they mention here, but none of it's confirmed. So we have to go into this keeping an open mind. and not doing a rush to judgment. We know what he's being charged with. Now we have to see what evidence that the police and or prosecutors can put forward to support this particular suspect, the theory that this suspect committed the murders. Kohberger is facing extradition. Okay, we got that there. Um, According to the WSU website, Kohberger is pursuing his PhD. This is interesting. Is pursuing his PhD in criminal justice and criminology. In college, he was a student investigator for a survey that explored people's actions, thoughts, and feelings when they committed crimes. Well, that's interesting. Flux says Steve did it. Nope, this son of a bitch did. Allegedly. Sorry. I just said I wasn't supposed to do that, and I did. Sorry, that was improper of me. That was improper. This guy allegedly did it. So he studied criminology and he did a survey. The survey is interesting here. According to WPVI, Kohberger appeared before a Pennsylvania judge on December 30th, and the judge approved his extradition. One question in the study, this article is very poorly written, but I'll do my best. Everything is out of order. One question in the study, why did you choose that victim or target over others? Another reads, after committing the crime, what were you thinking and feeling? The deaths of Royal DeCampustown, the four friends were found with knife wounds inside a home and were likely attacked while sleeping, according to previous statements from police, who created a website to round up all press releases, debunk rumors, and give out information as the community remained gripped in fear and true crime sleuths leapt into action. The deaths were previously ruled homicides, according to the coroner. The biggest clue previously released by police was the fact that they were searching for a white Elantra vehicle seen in the area on video. Police announced that search on December 7th, 2022. And the reports are that our suspect owns a white Elantra. And they've confiscated, again, this is according to another news report we'll get to here in a bit. But apparently he has a white a white Hyundai Elantra, and it was confiscated. And his DNA was found at the crime scene, and they were just waiting for the results of the report to come in, of the testing. Autopsies were conducted on November 17th. The Latah County coroner confirmed the identity of the four murdered individuals and their cause and manner of death as homicide by stabbing. The coroner stated the four victims were likely asleep, some had defensive wounds, and each was stabbed multiple times. There was no sign of SA, the Idaho Police website reports. Student's cause of death, this is repetitive, okay? Police have not released details of how they were led to Kohberger, whether they knew any students or a motive. Here's what you need to know. Kohberger had a blank stare when he was taken into custody. That's what the report says. When Kohberger was arrested, he asked if anyone else was arrested. Enton wrote in a tweet, and I'm told he had a quiet blank stare. NBC Philadelphia first broke the story that a man was in custody in the Idaho murders and later also named him as Bryan Christopher Kohberger. Court records obtained by Heavy for the Court of Common Pleas of Monroe County shows that the extradition was filed December 30th against Bryan Christopher Kohberger the same day as his arrest. That's pretty quick. To arrest him, just take him straight into the extradition court, sign off on that, and get him ready to package him up and send him back to Idaho. The suspect was being held at a county correctional facility with the destination location given as Monroe County Prison. His city listed as Albrightsville, Pennsylvania, and the document says Bryan Kohberger under alias. No information was listed. This is his extradition hearing. See, it's right here. It's completed, and he's awaiting extradition. Let's see what we're looking at here. This article is really very poorly written and very, very repetitive. Okay, Kohberger gave his once favorite quotes as a line from Aristotle. Okay, Moscow police announced they are holding a press conference on December 30th, 2022. That'll be starting in just about 40 minutes. 20 minutes. My favorite memory or quote: "It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it." From Aristotle. When he graduated from DeSalle University with a psychology degree in 2022, Kohberger listed a quote from Aristotle as his favorite memory or quote. A commencement video posted to YouTube by the Centerville, Pennsylvania University says, in a press release posted on their Facebook page, Moscow police announced that they were holding a 1 p.m. Pacific time press conference on Friday, December 30th, 2022. In the city council chambers at The announcement came on the morning news broke about his arrest. The press conference will be live streamed here. No, it'll be live streamed right here. Police Chief James Fry will give an update on the ongoing investigation into the quadruple homicide that occurred at 1122 King Road on Sunday, November 13th. The press release says officials from the Moscow Police Department, Idaho State Police, and the City of Moscow and University of Idaho will be present. The police did not address NBC Philadelphia's story about a suspect arrest, but it said, please hold all media inquiries until after the news conference. Let's see. Anything else there's a GoFundMe set up for the families of Gonsalves and Mogan. The Vandal is it's the University of Idaho Vandals. That's their mascot. The Vandals. The Vandal community lost 4 incredible people. Kaylee had a very special place in my heart. These are the woman who shared the GoFundMe wrote. Right. Nothing really much in here. He studied psychology at Pennsylvania Community College and researched any emotions and psychological traits of criminals while in grad school. He said he was looking for a grant. He was trying to get some sort of financing for research and things. My name is Brian, and I'm inviting you to participate in a research project that seeks to understand how emotions and psychological traits influence decision-making when committing a crime. In particular, this study seems to understand the story behind your most recent criminal offense with an emphasis on your thoughts and feelings throughout your experience. Yeah. That's his research request. Scroll on down. There's not really. Just mostly going over the history of the crime here. That was about 500 feet from Sigma Chi fraternity. Kohberger previously worked in security for a Pennsylvania school district. All right. People, stop messaging me. Turn this off. All right. And there he goes. Just some outreach to the families. A Hyundai Elantra was confiscated in Pennsylvania, reports say. Elantra found in PA. A Hyundai Elantra was taken away from Bryan Kohberger's home in Monroe County, Pennsylvania. Law enforcement sources tell NBC News. A white Elantra had been a possible clue in this case. Law enforcement sources told NBC News that a Hyundai Elantra was taken away. Police made a search for Hyundai Elantra, a key prong of their public statement during the investigation. Progress continues to locate this. And this is a very, very poorly written article. I'm bailing on it, basically. Let's see here. Where we got? Got a few super chats to get through here. Thank you for those, by the way, while I scroll back up here. Wait, that's weird. Where did they go? There's one, there's two. I guess we got them. All right. No, there's only one. Boom. All right. Our first one right here is Sky is a neighborhood. Allegedly, dudes creepy. P.S. Love the hoodie vices. Yeah, this is my hoodie. This is my Miskatonic University hoodie. I'm a kind of a Lovecraft guy, big Lovecraft fan. So what are we looking at here? 540. That wasn't a super chat. It was a member. It was Fondian's 3-month membership message, which don't show up on my thing here. He asked if anyone else was arrested. That sounds like someone else involved to me. I mean, he had to hear about the investigation so far with all the coverage. Well, see, to me, it can mean either that, like, oh, did you get the other guys too? Or it can mean, did you arrest anyone else? And you're just kind of bringing in lots of people, or is it only me you're after? It could mean either of those things, or it could mean something completely different. Like I said, anything at this point is speculation. We'll have to see how this thing pans out. Reindeer, are you streaming the press conference in 17 minutes? Yeah, that's why I'm here. Uh, that's it. We're just waiting for it to start. And while we're waiting for it to start, we can clear off this one other news story that I had here. This one from the New York Post. Let's see, let's embiggen this. Oh, there's my press conference alarm in case I overslept. All right. Here, this is the New York Post. The man, let's see, I'm trying to see my screen better here. Yeah, how much bigger we can make. Guess we can't make it any bigger than that. The man arrested over the brutal murders of 4 University of Idaho students has been named as Bryan Kohberger, sources confirmed to the Post. Well, we know the guy's name now. The suspect has been arrested. If they put your middle name somewhere, it's never a good thing. So keep that in mind. A SWAT team entered the location in Pennsylvania where Kohberger, 28, was staying for work and took him into custody around 3 a.m. Friday, WPVI reported. Police also seized a white Hyundai Elantra matching the description of a car that had been the car police had been trying to locate, and Kohberger's DNA has also been matched to samples recovered at the scene of the deaths, according to CNN. Online records indicate Kohberger appears to have been pursuing a doctorate in criminal justice at Washington State University in Pullman, less than 10 miles from Moscow. Shortly after his arrest, the university took down a grad student page listing his name. Yeah, don't want to be known as the school where this suspect is. A man with the same name is listed as having received a Master's of Arts in Criminal Justice from DeSalle University in Center Valley, Pennsylvania in 2022. While at DeSalle's, Kohberger allegedly posted in a Reddit community for former prisoners to ask with help for a research survey about how emotions and psychological traits influence decision-making when committing a crime. The post, which identifies Kohberger as the student investigator, was purportedly interested in the story behind your most recent criminal offense, with an emphasis on your thoughts and feelings about your experience. Potato Cam. Kohberger appeared briefly in Monroe County Court Friday morning. Records show he was held without bail and is due to be extradited after a hearing on January 3rd. Okay, I think what this means is he's due to be extradited on January 3rd, because we already saw that he's awaiting extradition. His arrest comes almost 7 weeks after Kaylee Gonzalez, Madison Mogan, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin were stabbed to death in their beds as they slept in the off-campus home on November 13th. The murders were the first in Moscow in 7 years and had rocked the small college community. Earlier this week, the police confirmed they were sifting through 20,000 tips in connection with this case. Police say the 4 students were murdered sometime between 3 and 4 a.m., but they were not discovered until hours later, after roommates Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funk became worried they could not reach their friend and called police. Police made the grim discovery. The Moscow Police Department, in conjunction with the FBI and investigators from the University of Idaho, is set to hold a press conference in 12 minutes. Meanwhile, a professional crime scene cleanup crew arrived on Friday at the home of 1122 King Road in Moscow, where the stabbings occurred, but police stopped them from entering the house due to the developments in the case. After the conclusion of the investigation, it is unclear if the 3-story house will be demolished or relisted by the property owner. Well, I don't know if, that might not be the greatest for business. What are you doing back there? Oh. Yoda's eating a roll of tape. How nice. All right. Enjoy, Yoda. All right. We have about 10 minutes before the the press conference starts. We'll see if they start on time. Usually these things are a little bit late. Um, but what do we got going? What do we know so far? We know just basically what we've read. We know the guy's name. We know he reportedly had a white Hyundai Elantra, and reportedly his DNA was tied to the scene. We'll just have to see how it comes down after this. But what we do know, excuse me, I haven't been to sleep yet, and it's 6 a.m. Um, yeah, there's a lot of speculation. See, this is what I'm going back. This is why I went uh just in so hard for the family of of Ms. Gonzalez, Steve in particular. He's wanting to drop all this information. He's wanting to put things out into public. He's criticizing the police. Fondin, hey, thank you very much for the super chat. His paper seems to be focused on someone else's experience. That plus his statement points to an accomplice on one on each floor. Compare notes after. We'll just have to wait and see what they say. We see, and again, that's what I was saying. You don't. The police aren't telling you everything. Any information that the police puts out there during an investigation usually is not important information. They want to keep the important information close to their chests. They don't, they want to use it to conduct further investigations, not cut off any other avenues of questioning. And also, so hopefully, the people that they interrogate or question will slip up and say something that only the person who committed the crime could know. And that's why it was frustrating, and it actually made me a bit angry the way that Steve Gonzalez, the father of one of the victims, was just constantly berating the police, calling them into their integrity, their qualifications, their ability to handle cases like this. And then his wife started in, then their lawyer started in. And as I said, I get it that you want the information. You want to know as much as possible about what's going on, but you keep flapping your gums to the press and things start to leak, and that can be a major detriment to your investigation. So, yeah, I just suggested he shut his mouth and be happy he's getting anything, because if you continue to leak information, then the police just go, never mind, we're not telling you anything. And that's when you get into trouble. Still got to keep an eye over here on the feed. Excuse me. Hydration time. So what are we all thinking so far? I was surprised. Oh, we got a super chat here from Flux. He crafted this for a long time, allegedly, and can't understand what happened, allegedly. But something didn't go to plan. I want to know what. Well, this is going to play out very, very slowly over a significant amount of time. Unless he just caves and admits to doing it and tells everybody all the answers to all of the questions we have about why he's doing it and what's going on. But again, remember, this is innocent until proven guilty. Let's see what evidence has been collected, and the investigation is probably still ongoing. Just because you get someone and you throw them in jail and you charge them doesn't mean the investigation's over. You want to have as much as you can by the time that you make the arrest, because that starts triggering the speedy trial clauses and things like that. So as much information as you can get before you make an arrest is better. Yeah, the more is better when it comes to collecting stuff before you make arrests. Stingy plot twist. He claims sovereign citizen. Well, let's hope not. Let's hope not. You can only have so many of those cases going at once, and it just gets tedious. Drama in the front, party in the back says people need to watch more forensic files. What you said is 100% correct about keeping the important info quiet. No, it is. I mean, that is just standard police operating procedure. Patty Leather says police arrest innocent people all the time. Don't know about all the time, but they do far more than it should happen. And Flux, allegedly. Hi, Indigo. Welcome. Stingy. Do they have subject matter jurisdiction? Where do you go, Stingy? Uh, Seems you asked a question. I don't want to double down on the answer. Hey, Jessica Reloaded. What's up? There you are. How's it going? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, people do need to watch more Forensic Files. So this guy studied criminology. He was getting his PhD in criminology. Lady Autumn Sky says, Rowdy Sloth gifted 10 memberships. Well, by gum, you did. Rowdy Sloth, thank you so much for the 10 Legal Vices membership. If you were one of the lucky people to get one of those free gifted memberships, please tell Rowdy Sloth thank you. And please accept my thanks for being so generous with that gift. DNA in a party house, going to need a lot more. Yeah, well, that's what I mean. We're just going to have to see what there is. That's why I'm saying keep an open mind now. We'll just have to see. Stayed a 10-minute ride from his campus to the crime scene. It's about 10 miles, like 10 miles from Pullman, Washington to Moscow, Idaho. All right, checking the stream. 5 minutes left, no activity. Just hanging tight and waiting. So, I mean, now we can get into the dangerous speculation, or we can toss around ideas. It's kind of up to us how we handle this information and what kind of attitude we take moving forward with this. So for me, I'm saying, the one thing you don't want to do is say, oh, just because he was arrested, that means he did it. But you have to at least assume, excuse me, it's early. You have to assume that they at least have some evidence tying them to the crime before they make the arrest. What that is, who knows? We'll just have to see. And Valhalla Waits says, Legal Vices, we know that some of the victims had defensive wounds, yes. Speculating here, but if they have his DNA under fingernails or a lot of blood from an accidental cut, this should be open and shut. Well, nothing's ever really open and shut unless you have valid confessions. I mean, it could be anything. You're dating, giving you back scratches, doing whatever, but DNA under a nail is not a good thing. It does raise questions. All right, let's see. Flux, you missed Xcomer's Xcomer Triple Z super chat. I don't think I did, Flux. I don't think I did. Just saying. If you think I did, what super chat was it? It wasn't the 10 memberships because I mentioned those. Well, we don't, I mean, nobody said anything about motive yet. Like I said, I would be surprised. Flux says you did. No. There's only one super chat from Xcomer, and that was that the Rowdy Sloth gave 10 memberships, and Jessica is here. I mentioned that they had the 10 Jessica, the 10. Oh, you gifted 10 more now. Rowdy Sloth has gifted 10 more memberships. Wow, dang. And I said hello to Jessica. Thank you so much for the additional 10 memberships. Guys, if you got one of those, if you were one of those 10 lucky people, for a total of 20 lucky people today, please give Rowdy Sloth your thanks for gifting you that free membership. 5:58 a.m. We are here in Korea anyway. We are 2 minutes away, supposedly. I'm surprised they caught someone this quickly. And that's, to me, I guess that's good police work. They kept things close to their chest. They led people to believe that the case was going cold. And for those of you that wonder why I keep yawning, it is 6 a.m. now here in Korea, and I have not slept yet because I knew if I went to sleep, then I would not be able to wake up for this. So as soon as this is over, I'll go to sleep for a few hours. Drama in front, party in the back says he fluxed an ostrich allegedly. If you know, you know. Some things you just don't want to know. Some things you just don't want to know. All right, let's go, peeps. Come on. Bring you up here. Let's I'll bring you up here in the I just heard a microphone click in and then nothing. All right, here we go. We are going with the press conference. Let's watch this together and see what happens. Dang.
Thank you for coming today. Last night, in conjunction with the Pennsylvania State Police, Federal Bureau of Investigation, detectives arrested 28-year-old Bryan Christopher Kohberger in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania, on a warrant for murders of Ethan, Zana, Madison, and Kaylee.
It's very
I
emotional.
want to personally thank these agencies for their assistance in this case. Kohberger resides in Pullman, Washington, and is a graduate student at Washington State University. We'll provide as much information as we can about the extradition to Idaho and the criminal process. However, due to Idaho state law, we are limited in what information we can release today until Kohberger has his initial appearance in Idaho court. I want to express my appreciation to our local community, the people of Idaho, and those throughout our nation who provided information to help us investigate these murders has been very impressive. We've received over 19,000 tips, and we've conducted over 300 interviews. To recap this case, on the evening of November 12th, Kaylee and Madison arrived home at about 1:56 a.m. after visiting a local bar and street food vendor. Ethan and Zana were at the Sigma Chi house before arriving home around 1:45 a.m. The two surviving roommates had also been in the community but returned around 1 a.m. On the morning of November 13th, a 911 call was made at 11:58 a.m. reporting an unconscious person at the residence. The call came from inside the home from one of the surviving roommates' cell phones. Moscow police responded and found 2 victims on the 2nd floor and 2 victims on the 3rd floor. On November 17th, autopsies were conducted and the Latah County coroner confirmed the identity of the 4 victims. The cause and manner of death was homicide by stabbing. Some had defensive wounds, and each had been stabbed multiple times. These murders have shaken our community, and no arrest will ever bring back these young students. However, we do believe justice will be found through the criminal process. This was a very complex and extensive case. We had developed a clear picture over time, and we stand assured that the work is not done, but be assured the work is not done. This has just started. Since November, we have remained laser focused on pursuing every lead in our pursuit of justice for the victims and their families. I recognize the frustration with the lack of information that's been released. However, providing any details in this criminal investigation might have tainted the upcoming criminal prosecution or alerted the suspect of our progress. We will continue to provide as much information as we can as the process moves forward.
Exactly.
Today, I want to specifically thank our dedicated Moscow Police Department detectives, patrol officers, the Idaho State Detectives, the Idaho State Troopers, and their crime lab technicians and scientists, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation for the resources and personnel to conduct this massive investigation. It was the dedication of them and the persistence and the numerous hours that led to an arrest. Fortunately, these highly skilled people worked together as a cohesive team to solve this case. I also want to thank our community and the nation. Over the past 6 weeks, I've been continually reminded of how much our community cares. Locally, public support has been exceptional with kind words, food for investigators, and letters of support. You will never know how much your words of encouragement help us through these trying times. I appreciate each of you and each of your kindness. Agencies and individuals from across the nation have reached out to us to express their support to this department. I'm reminded how our Moscow community, our families, and the nation has been impacted by this daily. Finally, I do want to thank our media partners for the help. You kept this in the news, you helped us with tips, you kept things going, and we truly appreciate that. And you are the product of those 19,000 tips that we received, which is an impressive number. I would like to invite Bill Thompson, the county prosecutor, up at this time.
That's a good looking prosecutor.
Good afternoon, folks. My name is Bill Thompson. I'm the Latah County prosecutor. And it's sad to be here, but happy to be here at the same time. As Chief Fry indicated, a criminal complaint was filed yesterday here in Latah County, charging the defendant, Mr. Kohberger, with 4 counts of first-degree murder, in addition to felony burglary, which involves entering the residence with the intent to commit the crime of murder. Mr. Kohberger, and let me preface, there's a pending case now in court.
He knows if you've been naughty or nice.
I and my office and the investigators have to live with the restrictions that our Supreme Court places on pretrial publicity. That said, I promise you we will share with you through the court process or otherwise whatever we are allowed to. I just appreciate your patience on that. The factual basis for the charges are summarized in what's called a probable cause affidavit that is on file with the court. According to the rules of the Idaho Supreme Court, that is sealed until Mr. Kohberger is physically back in Latah County and has been served with the Idaho arrest warrant. At that time, we expect that that affidavit will be available to you so you can share the true facts with all of your readers and your watchers and your listeners and all the people who are interested and really need to know what's going on. So please have patience with us on that. We hope to get that to you as soon as we can. As far as Mr. Kohberger, I can share with you that he is a graduate student at Washington State University and has an apartment residence over in Pullman. He has had an initial appearance in front of a judge in Pennsylvania. He is being held without bond, and the warrant from our magistrate judge here also provides for no bond. We understand that he's scheduled to be back in court in Pennsylvania next Tuesday afternoon, and that a public defender has been appointed for him there. The process at this point is, since he was arrested in another state, he has the opportunity to either waive extradition and return voluntarily to the state of Idaho, or if he prefers not to waive extradition, then we will initiate extradition proceedings through our governor's office. If we do that, it can take a while for him to get here. So again, I'm asking for your patience and understand that's just the way the system works. Once he gets here, he'll have an initial appearance with our magistrate. They'll deal with issues such as making sure competent counsel is representing him, and the case will be scheduled for further hearings. Your primary source of factual information is going to be the court record, because that's what the Supreme Court says we need to refer you to. So please pay attention to what's going on in court and have people there to watch and hear what's being said. As an attorney, myself and my office, we are limited on what we are allowed by the courts to say outside of the courtroom. So please just work with us. Finally, as the chief indicated, This is not the end of this investigation. In fact, this is a new beginning. Y'all now know the name of the person who has been charged with these offenses. Please get that information out there. Please ask the public, anyone who knows about this individual, to come forward, call the tip line, report anything you know about him to help the investigators and eventually our office and the court system understand fully everything there is to know about not only the individual, but what happened and why. Next, I'll introduce Colonel Ked Wells from the Idaho State Police. Thank you.
AA Ron says the prosecutor on 34th Street. And Marv
Well, good
says,
afternoon.
at least
My
we
name is
know
Kedrick
why he
Wills.
waited this long.
I serve as
The
the
prosecutor
director of
had
the
a
Idaho
seasonal
State Police,
job.
and certainly want to express our appreciation for your attendance here today.
And this guy's, he's a really emotional guy too.
These tragic murders took 4 young, vibrant lives from our community. Nothing we do can bring them back. The only thing that we can do in law enforcement to honor their memories that we know of is to bring this to a successful conclusion. This has been a very difficult time for the families, the university, the community, and the state of Idaho. However, it is also proven that communities come together in tough times. Certainly appreciate the support of the local community and our national audience that has been following us as our investigators have worked through this case. I'm thankful also to you, the media partners, who have helped keep this case in the forefront that generates the tips and we hope will continue to generate information that will help us to a conclusion of this proceeding. I'd like to express our appreciation on behalf of the Idaho State Police to Chief Fry, his leadership, and the entire Moscow Police Department for the way that they handled this from the very beginning. He directed the right people to the right positions that led us to this conclusion today. I've had the utmost confidence in this investigation and in Chief Fry, as well as in Mr. Bill Thompson and the Latah County Prosecutor's Office, who've been a great partner throughout this. Nothing has deterred the commitment of the investigators who've worked on this case, regardless of the organization they represent. It's been very trying and very difficult, as you know, that it has been on those investigators as they do the tedious work that they're so good at doing. The partnerships is what's led here as well. The partnerships between Moscow Police Department, I'd like to express our appreciation with the Federal Bureau of Investigation, specifically the special agent in charge out of the Salt Lake City Division, Dennis Rice, and also the work that happened in the last 24 hours in Pennsylvania with the arrest with the Pennsylvania State Police and Colonel Evanchik with the Pennsylvania State Police. We appreciate what they've done across the nation to help us as well. As Bill shared, this investigation is far from over. In fact, I appreciate what he shared, that this is not an ending, but rather a new beginning. The difference now is, as he shared, that we are dictated what information we can share by the court process and by laws in our state of Idaho. And so we will share, as he shared, Mr. Thompson is absolutely committed to share everything he can share through the court process. We've got to make sure that we don't get in front of that process. And we really deeply appreciate everybody's support here. The relationships that were forged here and the partnerships that were forged have led to this. And based on that is why we're here today. And we continue to believe that the best way we can honor these 4 lives that have been taken is to make sure that we have a successful outcome here. One of the partnerships that's been forged throughout this is a partnership with the University of Idaho. And on that, I'd like to introduce the president of the University of Idaho, Mr. Scott Green.
Prayers for Hogg. Yeah, Richard Hogg, apparently, according to his.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Is in the hospital
Green,
for some sort of emergency
President of
surgery.
University of Idaho.
If you follow him, keep him in your
Today's
thoughts and
news and
prayers.
arrest is a welcome one. It's relief to our university, our
Thank you, Kurt.
community, and our extended Vandal family. The outpouring of support over the past 6 weeks helped sustain us during the most trying time. It provided the strength that helped us navigate the international scrutiny visited on our students and employees. We are truly thankful for the compassion and acts of kindness shown to our community. Kindness is contagious, and it provided the light that reclaimed ground lost to evil and darkness. We first want to acknowledge and thank Governor Little for the early promise of financial support that enabled the university to secure our campus and focus on helping our students and our employees in the wake of the crimes. We also appreciate the Idaho State Police and the highly visible security presence that brought comfort and calm to a community shocked and confused by the senseless crimes. We never lost faith that this case would be solved and are grateful for the hard work of the Moscow Police Department and their law enforcement partners. Vast and committed FBI resources brought important expertise to this complex case. Across the board, dedicated, highly competent personnel worked this case to arrest. This crime has nevertheless left a mark on our university, our community, and our state. While we cannot bring back Maddie, Kaylee, Zaina, and Ethan, we can thoughtfully and purposefully carry their legacy forward in the work that we do. Our students come first, and that was proven each and every day of this investigation. We are committed to safely delivering the college town atmosphere, campus experience, and high-touch quality education for which the University of Idaho is known. With time, we will heal. We will move forward together, and we will remain Vandal strong. With that, I'd like to turn it back over to Chief Fry.
All right. I assume there's going to be a Q&A session here.
So now we will open the floor to questions. However, I want to remind everyone.
Oh, I'm psychic.
As Prosecutor Bill Thompson explained, any factual information regarding the arrest of Kohberger is currently sealed per Idaho law and will not be released until he has appeared in an Idaho court. Please formulate your questions accordingly. I recognize there are a lot of questions, and I will try to answer as many of them as I can.
Marv White says the evidence will be on the affidavit. They can't release until he's been served the warrant in person. Chat seems confused. Yes.
Lauren Patterson,
They'll release it
Northwest Public
when he
Broadcasting,
gets to
Spokane
Idaho.
Public Radio. I realize the records are sealed. I guess I'm not too familiar with how it works, but can you tell us what tip, what lead, what piece of evidence
No.
really led you
No,
all the
they
way from
can't.
Idaho to the suspect in Pennsylvania?
As I've said in the past, that's part of our investigation, and we won't be releasing that this time. We will have those answers. We'll have them as soon as we can make those available to you.
Then a quick follow-up and a two-parter.
Oh.
Is our community safe, or is law enforcement still on the search for other suspects who might be involved in this attack?
What I can tell you is we have an individual in custody who committed these horrible crimes.
Allegedly.
And I do believe our community is safe, but we still need to be vigilant, right? We still have talked about this in the past. We always need to be aware of our surroundings and make sure that we're aware of what's going on.
Hi, Chief. How soon into the investigation did police and law enforcement begin to spot Mr. Kohberger as a potential suspect? And a follow-up, how many tips, if you can say, were specifically related to Mr. Kohberger?
To the tip part, honestly, I can't answer that question, so I'm not even going to speculate on that. On the other part, that's part of our investigation, and it will come out. I'd like the mic to please come right over here.
Thank you. Dana Griffin with NBC News. Can you confirm that Kohberger asked whether or not anyone else had been arrested when he was in custody?
I cannot confirm that, or I'm not
Can't
sure
get into specifics.
of that information, but that would still be a part of our investigation.
Did CODIS initially return any hits on this guy?
That's still part of our investigation. That will come out. If we could get somebody over here, please.
And then one final question. Is there any message to the online sleuths who slandered and harassed people who they believed were
Slandered, harassed.
responsible?
There was a lot of speculation going on, and we've always said from the very beginning that we're the official message that comes out, and to pay attention to what we're putting out there to the press.
I'm Nancy Liu with News Nation, and we were over at the house this morning, and you told us that the remediation would begin today. It was suddenly stopped. Can you tell us why?
Yes.
Yes.
The house cleanup has been halted, and that came by a legal request from the court.
Christina Corbin, Fox News. Chief, have you identified a motive?
That is part of the investigation, and that will.
Why are you asking
come out as we
questions you know
continue
you
the
can't?
investigation.
They have to
But
ask
what
the
we still
questions,
ask
whatever.
is for people to continually send us things in the tip line. We are still looking for more information. We're still trying to build that picture, just like we have stated all along. We're putting all the pieces together, and that will help.
No,
Chief
our
Veronica
president-
Miracle with CNN. Any indication that the suspect knew the victims?
That's part of the investigation as well. It won't be something that will come out at this point in time, but as we continue the investigation and as this case goes to trial, that will be brought forth.
Have you spoken to the families? Can you tell us what they've told you today?
Are you talking the victims' families? Yeah, we have reached out to the victims' family as we always do. We've done that daily and we've continued to have contact with them.
Hey, Nate Sanford, you mentioned earlier that you're still seeking tips about Bryan and that people should still share whatever information they have. Can you speak at all about what specifically people should be reaching out for, like if they know something?
I would say anything and everything. As we've said all along, we know what tips we're looking for. We will take those tips and we will have professionals look at those and decide which pieces of those we need to use for our case. So we ask that everybody would do that.
Angela Palermo, Idaho Statesman.
Oh, okay.
Your
Idaho
department
Statesman,
and
local
other
paper.
investigators on the case took a lot of flack for keeping information close to your chest. Are you glad that you did that? And were you
Yeah.
worried about tipping the suspect off?
I will 100% stand behind the way that we handled this investigation.
Me-
And this all started from day one with our patrol officers arriving on scene, locking down the scene, us calling in the Idaho State Police, us calling in the FBI, and keeping information that was pertinent to this case very, very tight. We want to have a situation where when this goes to trial, there is no doubt that we've done everything right and we've slowed down and we've continued to slow down. We'll continue to do that.
Wing.
Hey, Chief. Have you guys found the murder weapon or the Hyundai Elantra?
So we are still looking for all pieces of evidence, but we are still looking for the weapon. And I will say that we have found an Elantra.
Stephanie Becker with CNN. Can you tell what it was like when you got the phone call when the police told you that they had your suspect?
I can tell you, for a lot of law enforcement, it was a fairly sleepless couple of days with as we were leading up to everything that we were doing. But what I can tell you is I have faith in those agencies across the nation. I have faith in our officers. I have faith in the FBI.
He's had a
And
month
they
and a
did good
half to
job.
get rid of
But
the weapon. If he held on to the
sure,
weapon
there
and
was,
they found it, that would be
sometimes, even throughout
that would be just
the
ridiculous.
day that we were always concerned.
Hi, Chief. Don Back at CBS News. Can you talk a little bit more about the suspect's connection to Pennsylvania?
All I know is that he lives in Pennsylvania.
Chief Guy Tannenbaum from Nonstop Local KHQ in Spokane. More about the Elantra. We saw reports that you mentioned that you recovered an Elantra, but can you specify where that was found? And we know that that was one of the biggest pieces of information you were asking from the public to tip. Were you able to provide an information on whether those tips led to this seizure of an Elantra?
That's still part of the investigation that will come out in the future.
Chief Glenn Mosley, Idaho Public Radio here in Moscow. The additional police presence in town and on campus, semester's coming. Is that going to continue?
You will continue to see state troopers in the area. You know, we're talking to Latah County as well. You will see a presence of us that we're always have up on campus. We have assigned officers to that. So you will continue to see a law enforcement presence. I'm going to take two more questions.
Hi, Chief. Julie Scott, ABC News. Can you tell us if you eventually had a license plate number to the Elantra and how you tracked it to Pullman?
That's still part of the investigation that will come out.
Anybody else want to waste their last question?
Chief, hi, Matt Lovelace with the Merle College of Communication. I want to ask about Mr. Kohberger as a graduate student at WSU. Are you aware of if he returned to campus after November 13th? And have you had any communication with departments on the WSU campus about his attendance?
So some of that is going to be followed up as we continue our investigation. We'll be asking some of those questions, but that'll come out in the near future. So what I do want to do is I want to thank you all. You really have been the national voice for us. You've given us the opportunity to get many, many tips. And I do appreciate everything you've done, and we'll continue to look forward to working with you in the future on this. So I'd like to thank you for that, and thank you for your time.
Well, there you go. Basic information. Yep. Once he gets to Idaho, once the suspect gets to Idaho, they will release some of the documents that form the basis of his arrest. So until then, guess that's kind of it. So I'm going to be adjusting my schedule next week, my streaming schedule, content-wise, to make allowances for this, because I'm assuming this is just going to continue going on for quite some time. And so until things settle down, we'll be doing this a lot, as well as some of the other stuff, if and when we get time to do them. So that's all there is today here for this, I guess. It was just kind of a quick in, quick out. Press conferences, they never usually give any great details, and especially with the ongoing investigation, but that's what we have to work with. I got nothing else. If anybody has anything to say, just let me know, because now is the time to say it, while I scroll through here and make sure we got these few little super chats out of the way. Let's see who looks more scowly and old. Scowly people are good. Am I on? What are we going to be doing here? All right. So coming up, nothing over the weekend, unless something like this happens. If there's some new breaking news, that's what we'll do. Sorry, I'm looking at all these scowly people here. Let's get these most, I guess, got watches and stabby. I guess this guy up here looks the most scowly. All right. Go away, dude. Let me bring this up. Oh, all right. Again, nothing over the weekend unless there's some big major thing. Next Monday, I'm planning on doing Maritime Monday because my Monday morning in the States, nothing will have happened with this case just yet. So from Tuesday, I was planning on doing some other things, but we'll probably be dealing with this and maybe the Yon case, because he had a hearing on Friday. I still haven't had time to look to see how the hearing went went for that, because this cropped up, and we're next week. There is no set schedule now officially. We'll still do OJ on Thursday, but for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday is going to be the F it Friday. Just do not miss my stream next Friday. That'll be fun. So Tuesday and Wednesday, I don't know what we're going to do, but it'll most likely be this or the Bradley Yon case. Let's see what we got here. Flux says, I'm excited for the defamation case with the professor and the crazy TikTok lady. Yeah, if I was her, I would be apologizing as much as possible. Danielle says, thanks, Jeff. Now go rest. Oh, yes. As soon as I hang this, it is coming up on 6:30 a.m. I will just close down this broadcast, grab my dogs, and go on the bed and just curl up with the dogs until about noon. And AA Ron just throwing in a cuckoo cachoo for good luck, I guess. All right. Happy New Year's, everybody. Let's see. Make sure we've got everything. I think we got all the super chats read. Thank you for saying. Oh, we didn't get Sky is a neighborhood. Thank you for sacrificing your sleep for us, Vices. Hey, like I said, it's what I do. It's fun. All right. That's it, I guess. A few things just before I sign off here. Number one, again, Richard Hogue is in the hospital apparently for, I don't know what the deal is. It's some sort of emergency surgery. Give him your prayers or send him good vibes. Do whatever if you know him. now we're coming into the end. It's New Year's Eve here in Korea. Now it's the morning of New Year's Eve. And I don't want to be a downer. I don't want to be a bummer, but I do reiterate this because it's my thing. I mentioned it earlier. I'm going to mention it again. It's New Year's Eve. People are going to be drinking. Whatever you do not drink and drive. Not a drop. We have Ubers, we have Lyft, we have buses, we have designated drivers, we have friends, we have feet. We don't have to drive after drinking. Please, not just not a drop. As I've said before, it would be 27 years ago today, my brother was killed in a drunk driving accident on New Year's Eve. Just like very, very early morning, New Year's Eve. So I have a thing about drinking and driving. Don't do it, please. Don't take someone's father, brother, husband, sister, daughter, whatever, away from them. And don't ruin your life. It's not worth it. Call a taxi, call an Uber, have your car towed, do something else. So that's my spiel. And now on that note, Aaron is sending one last chat. There are plenty of sober cab options out there. Don't be afraid to use them. And if you're with friends, don't let your friends drive drunk. That's the old saying, friends don't let friends drive drunk. Now, we are New Year's Eve here, so I'm going to say Happy New Year to all of you. I hope your 2023 is better than 2022. I'm happy we all made it through 2022. And the future is going to be bright. I hope everybody do great. Everybody do great things. Y'all take care. And once again, from the very, very bottom of my heart, thank you, mods, for being here. Thank you dearly. Thank you, chat, for being here. Those of you that are watching in the background as you drive around, as you work, as you go about your day, please give it a thought here and come back later and give me a like. YouTube likes that, and leave a comment, please. That helps for the after streaming engagement. All these things help the channel grow. And if you are a new visitor to my channel, please feel free to subscribe. I would be honored and appreciate it deeply if you would do so. Come back for more. We do trials like this. We do commentary. We do alien stuff every now and then. We do conspiracy stuff. We do a Maritime Monday every Monday, where we talk about maritime disasters and accidents and success stories. Thursday is a throwback to the O.J. Simpson trial, and Fridays are kind of loosey-goosey to do whatever we need to do with. So, all right, that's it. Everybody, take care. Love you all. Thank you all. We'll see you all again on Monday in the new year. Love you all. Take care. Bless you, and be safe. But in the midst of that, to the best of your abilities, enjoy your legal vices. Bye now. Whoa, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Yep, I got all the super chats. Bye now.